Dzień dobry, assalamu alaikum. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ciao ni hao. How are you doing today? It's Ken at 10. If you haven't been here before, welcome along. I broadcast every day at 10 o'clock. We're James Alexander Estate Agents based in Southwest London. Talk about all things property and what's going on, really. We're in Norbury, Southwest London. Right now, the weather is a little bit wet underfoot, but actually not too bad. It's reasonably bright. Looks like it might be a little bit grey, though. So I hope you're having a good day so far. It's Tuesday, and every Tuesday we have Ask JA Tuesday, where we ask you, the audience, to ask questions about your property issues and things that are on your mind, really. And this week I have two for you. One from John. And John says, I'm thinking of selling my house and I want to meet this new deadline so that I take advantage of stamp duty holiday. When do I need to sell by? That's a really good question. Thanks for that, John. And it's one of those questions where the answer is kind of variable, but you need to be very careful. In my view, many people will look to sell in January next year in the hope of meeting that deadline. And it's likely that many of them will be too late. The best thing you can do if you want to make sure you meet that deadline, beat that deadline, is actually market right away. The market is good. If you pitch your price correctly, then you get the three elements correct. That is presentation, promotion, and price. Then you will sell. And if you sell, it's going to elongate because of the extra delays. We're finding frustrations with surveyor delays, mortgage delays, solicitor delays. It's really frustrating out there. So give yourself a little bit of extra time. Don't leave it until the last minute. The last minute would be probably December this year. And even then, I'd say that's too tight. Really, you should be thinking about marketing now. Normally over the winter, I'm saying, well, leave it now, put it on hold until, we get out the holidays and then look the other side. But because we've got this deadline looming, and it may well be that deadline is held, in which case there will be no tax relief after the stamp duty relief after the 31st of March. And that will be an issue for the market and a financial issue for many. So if you want to make sure your sale goes through before then, you need to be marketing now. You need to be under offering now or hereabouts in order to ensure that you meet that deadline. I hope that helps, John. So, get cracking is my advice there, because everything is delayed right now. Normally, we're looking at 8 to 12 weeks, but in this market, much longer. It's not finding a buyer that's the problem if all the elements are correct. It's actually the delays post the sale being agreed that are really holding things up. So make sure you get in early. And the other thing I've been asked about by Sarah is surveys. What kind of survey should I have? Thanks. That's a good question, Sarah. Many people ask this. There are three main kinds of survey. The kind of surveyor you want should be a fellow of the Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. That is a FRIX. And basically what they will do, they're qualified. It's a 5-year process. They are professionals, and so you can expect to have to pay them a considerable sum in order to do your survey. And it's right and proper that they do, because they'll advise you properly. The kind of surveys that you get depends on what you're doing. So the first thing is, when you apply for a mortgage, your mortgage lender will require a survey. And sometimes it's wise to tack on your survey onto that. So the survey that your lender does will be a mortgage valuation, or what they call a basic valuation survey. This might even involve what we call a desktop exercise if you have a high percentage deposit, meaning they may not even visit the property. And even if they do visit the property, it's highly likely you won't receive a report at all. So you'll have no idea about the structural condition of the property. It's best advised to have some kind of survey for your own benefit. And the middle survey, so we've got three different kinds. We've got a full structural, which is your belt and braces, absolutely everything looked at, very, very thorough indeed. Then we have what's known as a home buyers. And the home buyers is also very thorough, and not quite as belt and braces, but nonetheless a very thorough examination of the house. And that's the one that most people go for, the one in the middle. Or there's the basic valuation, if you feel confident that you know what you're buying, and the lender can then just go ahead and do their valuation in order that you secure your loan. And then I always say, once you've had a survey done on from there, you then should investigate any areas that are worrying you. So, for instance, if it flags up certain issues, one of the big frustrations for most buyers is that when they have a survey done, having paid a considerable amount of money to a surveyor, they recommend a series of other inspections, such as we recommend that the electrics is tested, the drains are tested, the central heating is tested. And it can be quite frustrating, because you can end up thinking, well, what did I pay you for, Mr. Surveyor? And you pay them for the overview, and then the specialist reports come next if necessary. So they're the two sides to it. And then on from there is another kind of surveyor called a structural engineer. And this is where there's cracking that concerns you, particularly large cracks. You can employ a separate surveyor to actually look at these individual cracks and decide whether there's a bigger issue. And that's a structural engineer. And those people are concerned with loading and seeing what the pressures will be and what the likelihood is of that crack actually moving and analysing paperwork, that kind of thing. So I hope that's helpful, Sarah. I hope that helps you on your home move. Hope you're all having a great day today. Busy one again for us, much busier than we expected to be. And a couple of people on holiday this week as well, making the phones a little bit crazy. But I hope you have a great day. Stay safe and well, and we'll see you again same time tomorrow. Take care.